Hey, Greensboro College. Welcome to the very first episode of the Collegian Podcast with your host, Zypher Pino. And by my side here, we have
Josh Wilson.
We're very excited to be starting this up because the Collegian doesn't really have a foundation in the multimedia department of things. So hopefully with this will get us started with all that business and really have that ballooning up. In this podcast, we're going to discuss the newest Collegian issue that just came out on February 7th, which features Babatunde Odofin's article about the newest Director of International Programs, Miss Paula Wilder. I was going to mention that the article, when Babatunde was interviewing Paula Wilder, it didn't really mention any prolific international backgrounds. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm not saying that she needs to have that international background, and I'm not saying that just because she doesn't, it's not the club is gonna do bad or the program itself is gonna do bad. But I'm really interested to see how that's gonna go. I have worked with her in the past. I met her a couple of times. She's really nice. She's very sweet person. So I know the international program is gonna have a really bright future about that.
From what I read, she specializes in English, and she helps students learn English.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good foundation.
Absolutely. And she actually did her TESOL program here at GC, teaching English to speakers of other languages. I think that's what TESOL stands for. So I also found it interesting that she's a former student of GC, essentially, another alumni. And I want someone to make an article about that, actually, like alumni returning to GC for some reason. Something about in GC, people just keep coming back for some reason.
Yeah, we definitely do have a ton of alumni here that are professors and staff and faculty.
Yeah.
It really is a blessing for them to come back and actually express their expertise here instead of other different institutions.
Yeah. But going back to Paula, I think she's gonna be really good. Again, teaching English to speakers of other languages, yes, that is a very big part as to why she probably got hired. So I'm just interested to see overall on what GCIC what they have planned and what the Director of International Programs is about to do with international studies.
Definitely, and I also feel like Dana Dusing really did build the foundation here.
Yes.
With everybody that's here, she managed to create a great club.
Yeah.
So I feel like the foundation's still there. It's just an add-on to make it better.
Yeah. And I actually wanted to talk about GCIC for a bit because I don't know if you know, but they're actually the biggest club on campus. They have about, I want to say close to 30 members.
Wow.
And I've worked with and met all of their board members, from their president, MJ, to VP Babatunde, as we know. They're really great. I've attended a couple of their meetings because I'm a member myself, and this is a really fun club to be around as an international student. Well, I'm not an actual international student, but I was born internationally. It's definitely a great community to be part of. So if you're interested in finding a community that you can just be chill with and just find amazing people, I would definitely consider GCIC. I would definitely consider joining GCIC.
I'm not a part of the GCIC. Can you tell me what opportunities this club brings for students and students?
Yeah. Honestly, there's still a really new camp or a really new club. So in terms of opportunities, I don't think they have anything planned in terms of let's say volunteer service, anything like that. But if you're just looking for some people to be around with, just have a community of support around you, GCIC is definitely a fun club to be with. I think they actually have a trivia night coming up. I know they did one last semester and it was really successful.
Mm-hmm.
The whole student center was
packed. A ton of
packed.
people came. It was in the dining hall, wasn't it?
It was at the student center. Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure at least. Yeah,
okay.
But they're planning
I was thinking of bingo. My fault.
Oh yeah. They're planning to do that again. I didn't go to the last one, but I think I might go to this one. But I just know that the last one, this whole student center was packed. Awesome. So I'm probably gonna expect the same thing for this semester's trivia night. This is a good place to bounce off to our next article, Brianna Adamick's Athletics versus Academics article. I actually wanted you to start off with this because as a non-athlete, obviously I'm going to take the academic side, but I wanted to hear your perspective on it first.
Initially what got me here to Greensboro College was athletics. I wanted to be on the wrestling team.
Yeah. And you're a great wrestler, I might add.
I appreciate it.
All-American right here.
I appreciate it. But when I got here, just the clubs on campus and just the different internship options and work study options, it truly did help me be more on the academic side of things, the being more involved on campus. And for me, I mean, personally, it took a lot of pressure off of my athletics just because I was always busy with the
Yeah.
academic side of things. And I definitely agree with academics is way more important than your athletics just because you're trying to get a career here. You came
Yeah.
to college to seek a higher education to get the job you want and live the lifestyle you want to live. But yeah, also there are some priorities. We some athletes. There's a lot of awesome classes during the from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. range, and a lot of
Oh, yeah,
athletes
I
don't
gotcha.
take them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I wanted to take an acting class and
Oh, gotcha.
take a couple other classes within that range,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I had to prioritize, practice, but for the most part, I kind of learned that one practice isn't going to hurt if you miss it. What's really going to help is the lessons you learn within the
I
courses that's
got you.
taught.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bree made a great point in this article when she talked about like, yes, it is amazing and great for students to be able to play their favorite sport, whether that's basketball, wrestling, volleyball, whatever, to play their favorite sport throughout college. But I think the biggest struggle that athletes have with balancing athletics and academics is literally balancing athletics and academics, managing that rigorous schedule of athletics with needing to study several hours a day, needing to do your homework several hours a day. I think that's the main issue with athletes. They don't really know how to balance that. So as I want to ask you because as we said, you're an All-American, great wrestler, always busy with athletics, but you're also very involved on campus. You're a work study for the GCIC. You work for the Collegian, amongst other things. So how do you actually get to balance between the two?
Well, I get balance simply from having priority in my schedule.
Yeah.
When you make a list of things you have to do in that day, you got to rank them in priority.
Yes. Yes.
The most important from the least important,
Mm-hmm.
and just knowing, using your time wisely, not scrolling through TikTok or,
I struggle with that personally, and I'm not even an athlete. It's just
definitely.
hard. We all struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely will eat up a good amount of time,
Yeah,
that's what the
yeah,
algorithm was made for.
yeah, yeah,
Just being really conscious of how you use your time is highly important.
yeah.
And if you find that good balance of time management, you're going to be able to do everything you want to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was actually the number one thing that I prioritized, focused on going into college. Because in high school, I didn't really care that much. I wasn't really involved. But I know in college, I wanted to really get involved with everything. I wanted to really take it seriously. And to be able to do everything as efficiently and effectively as possible, I wanted to really master my time management, my prioritizing skills. And that's why I'm able to do like so many things at once because it's like I know how to balance, I know how to prioritize stuff. So I never really get overwhelmed with the stuff that I'm doing because you really need to know that time management aspect. And I think a lot of people really struggle with that. A lot of people don't really know how to do that stuff.
Yeah. I feel like college in a way, here at Greensboro College, there's a whole bunch of different opportunities as far as like uh, mentorship that can help you
Yeah.
learn.
It's so easy to get
Yeah, I
involved.
was a pause leader in this
Over the summer, right?
Yeah,
Over the
this
summer?
past summer, and I got to talk to students about, hey, managing your time in college is extremely important.
Absolutely.
Because if you want to hang out with your friends at 6 p.m., but you have a class, then you have homework, then you have an online quiz, you got to be able to, if you want to do everything in that day, you got to be
Yeah.
able to use your time wisely. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I also wanted to talk about another point that Bree talked about in this article, specifically about when she started talking about the knowledge aspect, essentially the lack of wanting to learn new things and just lack of general interest in anything related to learning or knowledge. I think Bree also wrote an article kind of more focused on that point, like last semester, basically how students really are not passionate anymore about learning. I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on that. Obviously, as a non-athlete planning to go into medical school, I absolutely love learning new stuff, especially anything science related. But do you see that same thing with students in your classes? Like they're just taking it for credit, just taking it for grade, or
Um, in a way, I do see it, taking it for credit, but a lot of the classes that I've been in, just as far as my major, are pretty engaging for the most part. So
yeah,
they start off like, "Oh, I'm just taking it for credit," and they get pretty much into it.
I gotcha.
I feel like uh, college is a great space to try new things, try classes that aren't in your major. You know, I've taken a couple theater
Yeah,
courses,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I plan on taking an acting class at some point. So definitely, I feel like everybody should be a scholar in their own way, and if they want to
Absolutely.
learn new things. Um, I think it's just not a lot of students, well, student athletes, know their interests outside of their sport.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's a great point. That is a
So
great point.
that could be a thing where, for example, if I'm a wrestler and all I'm focuses on is wrestling, I'm not really going to find what I like to do academically. So maybe, yeah.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Another thing that I wanted to bring up about Bree's article is that the last thing that she mentioned was maybe Greensboro College should try. Because right now, as we know, the campus is made about what, 70% athletes? It's majority athletes. And she mentioned that maybe instead of Greensboro College tending more towards the athletes, which makes sense why they do, because again, it's majority athletes. But she mentioned that maybe it's better to put more interest, put more hours, put more funds towards academics. Again, it doesn't really quite make sense because again, GC students are about 70% of them are athletes, around that number. And I wanted to get your thoughts and opinion on that. Like, what do you think?
Um, so my thoughts and opinions on that is just me being biased as an athlete.
Yeah,
I love athletic funding.
of course,
I
absolutely.
love new gear. I love traveling. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But more academic opportunities in the long run would definitely help.
Hmm.
I think Greensboro College right now does an excellent job on
I
both
think so
ends.
also.
We
Yeah.
added 3 majors to the college. I think it is supply chain management, data science,
Oh,
and
I've heard of that. Yeah,
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 and I
yeah.
think one more.
Yeah,
And
I can't recall what the last one is too, but I know they did
uh,
just add some more stuff recently too.
well, there's a third one. I can't think of it right
Hmm.
now, but we have added 3 new majors for study at this institution. So I believe I believe the people in that main building,
They know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
We're getting it on both ends.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, definitely because we travel well. We travel on nice buses. The
Hmm.
athletes. We
Yeah,
so we're we're definitely being treated well here.
I gotcha.
But more different clubs.
Yeah.
We're going to get into later. That a club that I'm playing about,
Yep.
but
I'm excited for
yeah,
it.
but yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like there's a great balance here.
My personal opinion on it was that I would love for the college to dedicate more funding into academics, but I didn't really think about that. They are doing that already. Like I didn't really have much information, but from just like I guess a feeling, a vibe standpoint, it does feel like that they prioritize athletes more. But as you just mentioned, that yes, they are still putting time and effort into academics. Um, so we can move on from that and we'll talk about On the Prowl, my favorite thing to do every issue. On the Prowl is a segment that I always do, a section in the newspaper that I always do per issue. I always just come up with questions, fun questions that we can talk about or we can ask students. For this specific On the Prowl, I ask students, what's your favorite thing to do during wintertime? For me, I kind of resonate with NZ's response the most because he mentioned that he loves snow. I was born in a country that doesn't have snow at all. It's either just hot seasons or a hot season and a rainy season.
Wow.
Yes, nothing at all, nothing at all. So the first time I saw snow when I first got here, I remember it was when we made landfall in Chicago and it was literally snowing outside. And me and my sister were like, wow, this is the
Yeah.
best. We couldn't get to touch it because we were inside and I think we boarded another plane like almost immediately. But seeing it for the first time, it was wonderful. And I remember kind of like, maybe it was like 3, 4 years ago. When I was still in high school, there was literally a week or two where it was just all snow. And it was thick snow too. Maybe like maybe 6 feet of snow. I might be exaggerating with that, but there's a lot of snow. And that was the first time I really got to experience what snow is like. And it was absolutely fun. We were making snowmen, making sleds and stuff. And I even played basketball in the snow with my friends. I have so many memories with snow. So me personally, favorite thing to do is just hang out in the snow.
I feel like my experiences with snow is a tad bit different. So me playing a winter sport,
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
having to travel and stuff, there's always that one chance that it might get snowed out
Oh,
and
no.
canceled and icy roads. Like for example, we were in Appalachian State after our tournament. After our match against them, and our bus broke down in the snow, and it was ice, and it was horrible.
Oh, gosh. When was this? Was this last year?
This was this semester.
Oh, really?
Probably
Oh,
like
gosh.
we got a new bus within like an hour or two, but
Yeah.
still, I feel like in me just being a commuter, my first
Yeah.
3 years here, snow could be a little bit annoying,
Yeah.
but you still gotta enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah,
Snowmen.
Yeah, I have it on my notes that if you're someone from, let's say, like Minnesota, from those really snowy areas, like you always snow, you probably wouldn't like snow at all
Yeah.
because it's just a bother with commuting with work and all that. But again, for me, living my first 16 years of my life with no snow and getting to experience that only once in a while too, because we barely get snow here. So every time that happens, I'm just like so happy.
Yeah, I definitely like, and when you live in those snowy areas, they do a way better job of cleaning the road fast.
Oh yeah.
Opposed to when you're down south and you get snow, they kind of just let everything shut down.
Or because they're not prepared for it because it doesn't
Yeah.
really happen. I remember, I think maybe it was like a year or two ago. I know Texas got like a hell of a lot of snow that one for like a month or so.
Yeah.
And they were struggling because obviously Texas doesn't really get snow. So they weren't really prepared for that. So that was definitely maybe like the first few days that people were
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
remember
this is
that
great.
the houses were.
Yeah. Like the people were probably loving snow, but after for like a week or two, like why is the snow still here? Then they probably hated it.
Yeah, it was. I think I remember that the houses were collapsing.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
That was
crazy. They
because
just
the way they make them is made for the heat.
yeah, not snow at all.
yeah,
So
that was
yeah, that was definitely
I
interesting.
think my favorite thing to do in the wintertime would definitely be, staying inside and binge watch
Absolutely.
Netflix, snacks, food.
Yeah, just
Chilling.
cuddling up in a blanket, you know.
just me personally, I know this might sound crazy, but I don't blast the heat. I kind of just like put a whole bunch of blankets on.
Oh,
like
I got
Master
that's
Yoda.
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, just I'm just all cuddled up in a blanket.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I kind of like it that way. I like.
Yeah,
it,
for me, like I do like the cold more than the heat. But whenever it's really cold outside, I still blast the heat. Like I
feel it.
still put on a lot of blankets, but I can't handle too cold. Though I do like colder better than hot. I just can't handle too cold.
Yeah,
You know.
one thing about also being a student athlete in the wintertime is when you hop in the ice bath and then you go outside.
I
it's
got
also
you.
30
Oh
degrees.
yeah.
Yeah. That's not. That sucks.
Yeah, that's definitely not gonna be
that's,
fun. Yeah.
that sucks.
All right. So I think we can talk about another segment that we just brought recently to this first issue. This segment, Counterpoints. This was a segment found in Collegian issues for like a good solid time, maybe for like 9-10 years straight. I don't know why we stopped it, but our editor Brianna noticed that this issue was in the articles before. This segment was in the articles before, so we decided to bring it back for this issue. In this Counterpoint segment, we asked, is AI good or bad? This was written by me and Brianna. I covered the AI is good argument, while Brianna covered the AI is bad argument. I wasn't really overly passionate about AI being good. It was kind of just like, I'm okay with AI. I'm like neutral with it. So I just decided to take on the good side. And Bri was really against AI. So automatically she picked on the bad side. But as I was working through the article, I kind of got more convinced towards the pro AI side because it's kind of insane that we rely so much on AI. Like literally everything that we do, artificial intelligence plays a role into that. I didn't really touch up on it much in my article because we kind of had a word limit, but there's so many great things that AI does that we take for granted, especially from like a corporation or organizational level. Like it helps with analyzing and organizing like huge chunks of data efficiently, way better than what a human could do, amongst other things. But what I was basically saying is that, but without AI, like tons of organizations and corporations would surely see like a dip in their productivity. So that was definitely the main thing that I got from the AI is good side.
So AI, it is the future now.
Yep.
So would you consider Google as AI?
Technically, Google is an AI. It's a search engine. I think recently, when I was doing my research for this article too, a lot of people mix up AI with just Chat GPT. But your phone, Instagram, the algorithms, the YouTube algorithms, TikTok algorithms, that's all controlled by AI. Google search engines, Microsoft Edge search engines, that's all controlled by AI. So yes, I would consider Google as an AI, but not a lot of people think about that when they think AI. They think of the newest stuff that just came out, like ChatGPT, the stuff that makes AI, like the stuff that makes art for you, whatever. So yes, Google is definitely an AI. Yeah.
I definitely agree that AI is beneficial for everything in general. I definitely can see where people could hate on AI just because ChatGPT can make you sound like a scholar.
Even though you're not, and the school hates them,
School hates ChatGPT. Turnitin hates ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that. But everything else is as far as algorithm for social media, search engines, anything that we use to make our lives easier is extremely essential to today's society.
I wanted to also bring up a point that I kind of made on my article. I found it interesting that when I was doing my research, I found that as AI intelligence improved, as AI technology improved, so has the overall technology of just the whole world in general. And I don't think those two, they're not. That's not a coincidence. I don't think it's literally because AI helps us do so many things. It helps move everything so efficiently. That's why literally our society is built upon AI. Everyone in the world cannot avoid AI unless you live in the woods and have no connection with the outside world at all. AI literally controls everything. But enough of the good side. I did want to talk about like more of the negative side that Bree mentioned. The part I loved the most that she talked about was how she stated that the godfather of AI themselves, they say that they regret what they've created. And it's kind of crazy. He's the one that essentially made it. So he's saying that he regrets it. So that's kind of crazy. Because I know a lot of people are worried about AI taking over and stuff like that. So, I mean, I kind of see where they're coming from, honestly.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it'll be like a Will Smith movie and taking over the world. But I definitely, I don't know. I'm still on the good side with AI.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it keeps everything in order in
Absolutely.
today's society. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can see where they're coming from, but I don't think at this point it could happen. Maybe once artificial intelligence keeps on evolving and evolving, like as we see now, like AI can mimic someone's voice. Literally, I think I saw a post about it one time that
I've seen it too.
like a CEO, a company got stolen like billions of dollars because scammers made like an AI of like the CEO's face and it's the same voice, and they were able to steal a bunch of money with that. So that's really scary. Not like you're watching a video that looks so real, but it's actually AI. Now that's where we can get in trouble.
Yeah, AI could definitely be used for evil, just how advanced the technology is.
Yeah.
But I imagine if we have AI that's that powerful, if we're capable of making that monster, we can easily find something to counter that.
Yeah, I think as AI evolves, I think the only thing that the government has to do is just put restrictions and regulations on it. It kind of reminds me of, again, I'm not quite knowledgeable about what I'm about to say, but around like the 1900s when businesses really started to go up, monopolies started to form. Obviously, it kind of went crazy. So the government kind of just put like laws and regulation that stops that from happening, and eventually it all balanced out. It didn't go like spiraling. So I trust our government. I trust that, like, yes, when AI technology evolves, we're gonna be able to notice that, hey, let's slow down a little bit. Let's put regulations and restrictions on it so that we don't see like an AI apocalypse or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I mean, and in some cases, AI can take the place of human jobs too.
Oh yeah, I think Bree mentioned that on her
She
article. Yeah.
did. That it could definitely be a concern to an extent. But I mean, you could say the same thing about factories and stuff. You know,
Yeah. Oh
machines are
yeah,
taking
yeah, yeah.
people's
And
jobs.
I don't think a lot of people are making arguments about that. I
Yeah,
mean, from an organizational business standpoint, all you really care about is efficiency and productivity.
exactly.
That might be like unhuman. Like you should care about, hey, that we're giving jobs here. But in my opinion, if I'm running a business, I'm trying to just run it as efficient as possible. I want to make as much money as possible. Some people might have different opinions on that, but if we're talking about AI, that's where it really comes into play.
Agree. I agree. So I mean, well, it's impossible to have something good without some side effects
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna talk about our final article that we want to focus on,
Last but
the
not least.
filmmaking club. Josh, I want to take you the lead on this because you're the one that made the article and you're the one starting off all of this stuff.
All right. So the filmmaking club. Okay. So my idea with the filmmaking club, with me being an English communications and media major, I've always had a passion for making videos and film. So what really interests me into this was when I was talking to the head of internships, Tom Seda.
I
So
gotcha. Yeah.
we were speaking about just different films and stuff and creating films, and he brought to my attention. He was like, there's a lot of students on campus that have that same exact interest, on campus, you
Interesting.
know, and it would be awesome if y'all all got together and started creating stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
I really thought about it. I was like, what if I took people who are good with cameras, people who like the English, and like if you think about the major in general, the ECM major, you have English, and then you got communications,
Communications, yep.
then you
And
got
then
media. So
media.
the media people that's love media, they're ones with the cameras, they love videography. People that's into English, they're screenwriters, script writers, and communications is just people that's on set directing, and then you have theater majors who are
Yes.
actors,
Yes.
directors,
Yes.
costume engineers. I just feel like this campus being a liberal arts college, we have so many creative minds around the
Absolutely.
campus that could come
Absolutely.
together and create something awesome. But yeah, I've always been interested in film. I love watching movies and learning how they make them.
Yeah.
And just right now, I'm gonna start doing my own individual projects.
That's gonna be
Now
fun.
that
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I could really do them and have time to do them.
Yeah.
With my athletics, balancing the student
Yeah.
athlete.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing that you're gonna add on your plate.
Yeah.
But personally, my opinions on it, like personally, as someone not too interested in videography and filmmaking, I think it's still a really cool concept for a club. Because again, you're bringing in so many people. Like I feel like right now, like the theater department, they kind of have their own community, like an unofficial club. But bringing all those people that are interested in one thing, filmmaking club, and as you said, Tom finds that there's a lot of people that are interested in what you're interested in. So being able to bring all those people, I think it'll be great. I think the best part for people that are not interested in it, like me, is seeing like the finished product that you guys will have. Because are you guys planning, when you guys started up, are you guys planning to work on a film to eventually present to campus or what?
So first, before we even create this, we need an advisor for the
I
club.
gotcha.
So the advisor we're thinking about is Wayne Johns from the Collegian,
Yes, yes.
or Tom Seda from internships. So either one of them two, we are. So yeah, I would like for us to get together, create something, even if it's just a short film.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
a short film. Just our first project to put out there. And when it's pause day, you never know. We could have just a sample of our short video for
Yeah, yeah,
students
that's gonna be
coming
so
in.
exciting.
That even if they're not an ECM or theater major and they just have a knack for film or just acting or anything like that or want to try it, they have the opportunity to.
Yeah, that's gonna be so exciting. Like, I really think that club. I think you interviewed Alex Trepper, the SGA president, for this too, and I like what he literally said that this club could literally be the biggest club on campus, or at least one of the biggest
Yeah,
clubs
the
on
biggest
campus.
one on campus right now is a GCIC, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I know you're a senior, right?
Well, I have one more year left, so
I gotcha.
the way I did it academically, I'm a junior, so I can
Oh, I
have my
thought.
senior year next year.
Oh, I
But it's
gotcha.
my 4th year of.
I gotcha. Because I was gonna ask, like, aren't you gonna need to find someone to take over after you're gone?
So this is the thing. Big on. I'm not really big on having it take over per se. I mean, the way I kind of see it, I see it more as if like, of course, we have our advisor, who gives us instructions to the group, but I see it more as like, similar to the collegiate, people throwing ideas out there, and then we come together and we make something. Uh, Even if I wasn't involved in a project, with it just being under the club, it would be still awesome for me. I just want it to be. I feel like Greensboro College students deserve a club like this on campus.
Exactly. Honestly, we deserve a lot more clubs than what we have right now. But this club, if you eventually get it started, I'm really gonna be looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yep.
So that's all that we have for today's podcast. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this first episode. I really hope that you guys look forward for some more. Me and Josh are really excited for this. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.